What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to Astroneer. In today's episode, we're going to have goals and stuff. I've already set it up. We're going to get a smelter. We're going to do all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to spend some time in the caves, but the first thing we need to do before we get started, I suppose, is gather some Oh, look, there's a dead version of me right there. Why is there a dead version of me? That's odd. Here, let me have my tethers back. Thank you. I don't know why there's a dead version of me over there. I did not expect that. I wasn't planning on dying today. I feel a little bit odd about it. Have you ever been dead before? Just laying there on the ground looking at yourself in your own face like something out of a horror film, really. Will the body go away once I take all that off of it? I hope it does, because frankly, just like my own dead body... Well, no, it's not me, because he's got green on him, whereas I'm blue. Is that me? I don't... Oh, he disappeared. Good. I was worried he was going to lay there the whole time, just like showing his ass to the universe and making me feel foolish. And I wasn't down for that today. I'm going to go gather some oxygen first, because we're going to be going down into the caves. We've got to find ourselves some compound, which I think is going to be our first most important thing. So, compound, where are you at? That's resin over there. I think that's a compound mine right there. I think. And if it's not, we'll find one elsewhere. But I'm pretty sure this is the one that we want. So, we'll go suck off a couple of compounds over here. God, that was a poor choice of words. Oh, well, we're only 2 minutes into the episode, and that's how we're starting out today. Don't you worry about it for a second. There we go. So we needed 2 compound to make this work. And I was looking at some of the metals and things, and I think we can refine our metals a little bit better if I have a smelter. It seems like an obvious thing to have next. And having played quite a few survival games, it always seems to me as though the forge and the smelter are the things that you want to get first. I'm really completely taken with how beautiful this game is. Like, honestly, it's a really, really pretty game. And I'm sort of wondering, there's not going to be any PvP or anything. I assume you could play with your friends because it seems like a logical thing that you could do in this game. Put the compounds there. So those are now in place, and we will build ourselves a smelter. Whoever smelt it definitely dealt it, especially when it comes to stuff like, oh, look at that, I'm suffocating. Here, how about we refill my oxygen real fast before, I go into that deep black night. There we go. So that's all done. Now, here at the smelter... I don't really know what I can do with this. I assume that I put stacks of unrefined metals on top of it, like malachite and stuff like that. And then if it has any power attached to it, it will then produce the things that I need. However, it's not gathering energy. My suggestion might be that we add a few more panels to this side, or maybe another generator or two. What did I need? In order to make a generator, what did I need to do? So for generators, I needed copper. Copper is going to be a little bit more difficult to come by, but I think I have some over here. So let me grab that very quickly. And now that that's in my backpack, we'll produce another generator. And I'll probably just put a generator on top of the smelter because my guess is we're going to be using it quite a lot. My goal today is actually to make my way towards vehicles as quickly as possible, as quickly and effectively as possible. So let's take the generator. And now that we have it, we'll put it right there. It requires organic material in order to function. So I guess the generator is kind of like you just burn trees or whatever in order to make it work. And with my relatively vast experience burning trees, I think we'll be okay. I think we're going to be able to make this work. I think this was organic material over here. And then I also needed to collect some electricity along the way, I think. Just in case, I'd like to attach it to a couple of the nodes so that while we're smelting... Just in case the generator can't keep up, we can just go with, like, raw resources. We've also got an oxygen mine over there here. Let me get the energy first. Energy. You remember, like, back in the day, you know what I miss about, like, being in the 90s? Those big-ass boxes you would get. So, back in the 90s, kids, if you didn't know about this, I'm going to explain to you. It was a magical time. I'm getting low on oxygen, too, so maybe we just make that happen real quick so that my oxygen supply is looking a little bit more awesome. But yeah, back in the 90s, you go to the computer school, you go to the computer store, like CompUSA or whatever, what have you, the location that you got computer games and computer objects from. And they would have like these big boxes that would have like 25 CD-ROMs inside of them. And each CD-ROM would basically, you know how Doom and like Wolfenstein back in the day, you would have like the shareware versions. You probably don't because I don't know how old my audience is. I'm led to believe that my audience is younger. But there was this thing called shareware, which was basically like demos back in the day, where they were these discs and you would pay like $5 and you would get like this big ass box of like 15 CD-ROMs and each CD-ROM had like 20 game demos on it. And that's how they used to distribute games back in the day. That's how they would convince you to buy like the real version off the shelf. But the thing was, the first episode was usually pretty beefy. Like if you play the first episode of Wolfenstein, you can get some serious gameplay out of there. The same thing with Doom. And honestly, the best levels I always felt in Doom and Wolfenstein were the initial ones, the ones that were on the shareware version. Shareware Doom always felt the best to me. So we can put the organic material right there. It'll start consuming that in order to generate electricity. For that right there. Very, very nice. Okay, sounds good. We will also let's get some of this stuff powered. There it is. So the batteries will fill up. I'm going to put a little bit of battery life on some of our things over here too. There we go. So the research station has been fully powered. Looks like I have a full stack of extra tethers just sitting on the side of my building right there. I'm sure that I did that earlier on in the series and it was just like a dumb thing that I did. Now then, we need to find an oxygen mine. I'm going to stack up this electricity over here because I don't want to take it on my adventure with me. I don't need it right now, so it's just going to chill right there. We're going to try and find a cave. We're going to dive down deep. We're going to dig deep, Nerd Castle, and see if we can get something useful out of all of this. Now, another way that I could do it is I could extend tethers down and underground. That would work out perfectly fine, too, because I tend to go through oxygen really, really quickly while I do this. But I mean, with 3 stacks of oxygen, I'll probably be okay. I think there's a cave over here somewhere. Pretty sure there's a cave mouth, like, right in this region. Yeah, there it is, right there. Let's go down to the cave. We'll see what metals we can get, and we can see how smelting works out for our character. My hope is that if we come out with, like, stacks of titanium and malachite and other fun stuff, we should be able to do some interesting things with them. A little bit more oxygen right there. I will actually get an extra stack of power. Let me just recharge my battery real quick. With the extra stack of power, just in case I need to do some like really, really hardcore mining. Ooh, are those gas veins down there though? Those might be the little gas sphincters, the little gassy anuses. I don't know. Yeah, they are. So we'll want to avoid those. There's hydrazine over on this side. I think if I can stay wide enough and away from the gases, we should be okay. I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to widen that walkway a little bit. So that I have kind of a way around. There we go. And so now I should be able to move on to this ledge. I am going to take all of this oxygen because you never know. I have no idea how long I'm going to be inside of this cave. It could be a while. And then I'm also going to consider creating just a little walkway right here that will take me up to the level that I want to be on. God, I love terraforming. And it's so easy in this game. That's the nice part, is that the terraforming is not like difficult in this game. It's actually really, really simple. Some games make terraforming way too difficult to make like things that are functional, and it can be super annoying, but it works out pretty well here. I'm going to have to extend the distance of this in order to make it work. We have research objects over here. Leaving a beacon here would probably be wise as well. We've used up one of our oxygen supply. Go ahead and give me another one real fast while I'm having a look around down here. We have a couple of little plants. I don't know what that is, but it's a research object. Taking that back would probably be a smart idea too. The foundation of scientific knowledge seems to be what we're going for with this whole little adventure, or at least the accumulation thereof. I don't want to get too far from my point of origin so that I like lose myself and forget where I came in, because that's happened to me far too many times in video games. I get lost very, very easily. And then I'm like that kid like in aisle 6 who lost his mom at the hardware store, and he's just like, man, just like losing my mind. Just be like, where am I? I'm lost. Mom, why have you abandoned me? I think, ooh, what is this? We've got something red over here. That's an aluminum ore. So yeah, that sounds great. Let's get some aluminum ore. Sure. So we've got ourselves some laterite now. Very, very nice. I don't know if there's going to be enough for us to get a 2-stack of it, but it seems alright to me. We've got ourselves some laterite now. What was this over here? Is this hydrazine? That's hydrazine. I don't need hydrazine because I've got the condenser now. There's also what looks like a fossil over here, or I don't know if that's... Well, shit, there was something big down here. It left a big corpse, that's for certain. Ow, what was that? Something just struck me. What struck me? Was it that falling on me, maybe? I don't know. I just got boned, I guess. I just got boned. We'll probably want to keep an eye out for oxygen along the way. Just to make sure. I don't want to be that guy suffocating down in a cave and looking like an idiot, adding my bones to stand alongside the weird, ancient Martian dinosaur bones. But we've got laterite down here, and if we've got laterite, my concern is that maybe we can find something like, oh, I don't know, covalite or something like that. There are a number of titanium-bearing rocks that are around, although they're all fairly rare. Titanium is not super easy to come by, although it does result in kind of a blue sheen. That's a research object, huh? Alright. Well, it's got kind of like a cubic form, so I suppose I can take it back with me. Let's run a couple of research blobs back, I guess. So I'll take this back, and then we'll follow the bones on back to our origin. And once I get back to base, we'll see what this does. Well, shit, never mind. I was dragging my research object back, and there was a geyser over here, like a steam geyser. And when I dragged the research object over it while I was carrying it, it attached itself to the geyser. And now I can't seem to get it off of the geyser. I tried destroying the geyser. I tried like everything. None of it worked, and now as an abject failure, I find myself falling back to my home point. Because that's all that I deserve. That's all that I deserve. I've been a failure. I deserve this now. Just let's walk in shame for a moment while collecting little blue balls off the walls. Little blue teeth have been collected. I'm going to dive further down this tunnel, and maybe we find ourselves something cool while we're down here. I'm also going to sprint along the way, because so far we've actually had a fairly decent supply of oxygen, so I'm not that worried about using it all up. Chances are they'll probably give us more. So is there anything living on the planet? That's the part that we haven't really touched on yet. Is like, is there anything here that... Ooh, what is this? Oh. Yeah, another one of the little tank things. We've already researched one of these, but I think the researching follows kind of a... I think the researching follows a bit of a roulette system when you put it on there. Like, I think certain things give you a chance of getting certain things, and the list gets slimmer and slimmer as you research more and more and more. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll take this back to base, and I'll stack it there, and in between episodes I may also grab a whole bunch of random researchy things and just leave them around. Seems like an okay plan to me. But I still want to look around and see if there's any more minerals here, although this cave is seeming like maybe it does not have some of those things that I want, so... just stuff to consider right there for our future plans. Maybe... this cave does go on for days. Let's ditch this right here next to the entrance. So that can remain right there. I mean, the stuff is permanent, so once we find it, it'll stay where we leave it. And let's not forget that our first objective down here was actually... oh, there's another one. Well, that's good, because that's one of the things that I lost right there, so... well, it's a different color than the thing that I lost, and it's also of a different consistency. In fact, that kind of looks like a block of concrete or something. Like it looks like a chunk of concrete foundation, whereas the other one was definitely geological in origin. So I'll bring this back over here, too, and we'll just leave it next to our other research object. Boom. 2 research objects found. We'll sort them on out, and then once we get back up, it's going to eat up a whole bunch of our power system. Not really that worried about it, though. Not really that worried about it. Maybe I should stop. Ow! No, stop that. Okay, it's those little plants right there that are being douchebags. We caught them. We caught them. We've got malachite over here. So let's take this, because copper is always useful. We need to keep careful eyes on... yeah, we need to keep careful eyes on our oxygen supply. But I think we're probably good. There's a power supply right here. And then there's also some oxygen being stacked up on this side. Although at the moment our inventory is full. And so my recommendation would be that we fall back to base. We'll take one of the research objects with us. We'll get little things done. Little objectives need to be completed. Made it back home with my treasure brick. Oh yeah, everybody loves you when you're out in the universe discovering treasure bricks. If you never brought one home, I highly recommend it. Good things might happen. Let's see what goes on here. Man, that thing is eating through some electricity. What do we get? What do we got? Come on, give me something good. No whammies. Stop! We've got storage, so I've researched a storage area, so that's pretty cool. I might consider actually utilizing that over here. I haven't extended this out much further, but I would actually submit it for consideration that storage is probably a solid idea. But I wanted to play around with the smelter too. So let's see if the smelter produces for us here. How much do I have to put on here? Okay. So it does a full charge every single time. That only gave me what looks like 2 copper. Like, that's okay. I don't know if I want to rely so heavily on generators, though. Like, the generators are nice, but the generators also require a lot of biological material, which unfortunately we don't really have. However, let's jump into the laterite formations as well. We'll put those on there. And produce. I like how they despawn right there and process. It looks really, really cool. So now we've got aluminum as well. So with copper and aluminum available, what can I do with aluminum? Let's find out. So with aluminum, we can make wind vanes. And it looks like that's about it. That one titanium that we had that we lost our tank with was really kind of a big loss. What I may try to do is, it's not refilling my oxygen right now, is it? Yeah, it's definitely not refilling my oxygen right now. These are the struggles of the spaceborne human. These are the struggles. Well, if we've got that then, did the stuff that I left over here actually stay? Kind of. The compound is still here, or the resin is still here. What about with the storage building? What can I do with that? So let's take this off in one direction. Actually, I need more resin if I'm going to make this function. But that shouldn't be too hard to deal with. I'm going to consider, so we'll take some of this power. We'll put it back inside the smelter just so it can restore the battery a little bit quicker, because the generators are both running on big E. It's better than your generator running on the big O. I'll tell you that right now. All of a sudden you got giant robots running around. See, you thought I was going to make an off-color, like R-rated joke, but instead I made it into an anime joke. Let's maybe... I mean, extending tethers down into a cave would work too. That would give me a little bit more functioning time without having to rely on filling up all my inventory space on... Yeah, let's try that instead. Because I know there's a cave right here, and it's got to have something good in it, right? Otherwise, why would it be there? What would its purpose be unless it had something awesome inside of it for me? Jolly little me. Okay, I'm not very jolly. I'm going to let you in on a life secret here. Jolliness sort of tapers off once real life shit starts happening. That whole ho-ho-ho Santa thing, probably not quite as reliable as one might hope. So if we have the resin, I'm going to sprint all the way back to base now. I'm going to grab the tethers off the side of here too because I forgot about them. Is it compounds that makes tethers, or what is it? Compound makes filters. Tethers come from compounds. Okay, so that's easy enough. I'm going to grab this tether. I'm going to attach my aluminum on there so it doesn't despawn and go anywhere. Because I think we left some power on the ground over on this side. And either it got absorbed by our building, which is a pretty cool feature, or it just vanished on us. One or the other. I need compound. There's compound over there. There it is. Compound is always easy enough to find. So let me have a bit of that. And there we go. I'm out of electricity, but we've got the compounds we need to craft ourselves some tethers. Tethers? Go ahead. I conjure you from the ether, because this is how science works right here. This is science in action. I take a thing, and then I push a button on a console, and it magically becomes the thing that I want it to be, the manufactured object that I desired. Now, this is far too many tethers. I don't think I need this many tethers. This amount of tethers might be a little bit over the top. So, I'll bring them back, and we'll take 2 stacks of these tethers, throw them on top of here, and then we're off for adventures in the cave. Let's dive down on deep, and we'll see if we can find ourselves some titanium in here. My guess is that titanium is actually a rare resource that's like way down inside the mountain. We've got 3 stacks of tethers, so I don't see a whole lot of things going wrong here. There we go. And keep your eye out for titanium. This does give us like a baseline point. There we go. I've got to run that down the hill right there. Let's make this a little bit safer, shall we? Because as of right now, that's kind of a death trap, and I don't want any union violations on my hands. Make that a little smoother so that I can travel up it easier. There we go. So the bridge is a tiny bit wider now, although I think I'll probably have to upraise that as well, just to make... If we're trying to take research objects out, I got to make sure that everything is kind of smoothed out in one respect or another. So can I walk up that? With some effort. That's cool. Works out for me. This is biological material right here. We probably need some of that. There's a research object right there. So I would say we should just take this here. And let's deposit it at the mouth of the cave so that we can take it back with us once we're done. So there we go. Unless it's going to roll. If it's going to roll, we'll leave that right there for easy access. I'm going to jump over that bridge because it makes me feel nervous. And let's have yet another look around. I think running tethers is great because it provides me with light. And it makes it a little bit easier for me to do my gerb. Lots of oxygen around. My interest, however, is diving deeper down into the earth. Now, what is this right here? Can I harvest this? Because you can definitely plug this with objects. Like, I was able to plug that with other things. We've got yellow down there, which I assume might be... Yellow's not the color that... I think the stone we're looking for is more than likely going to be blue. That's probably going to count as copper, I think. So we've got aluminum over there. That's probably copper, yeah. And the stone that I'm looking for, my guess is that titanium will be blue. Because that's what color it is in real life. I'm not saying it has to be blue. But it would be nice if it was. And this eliminates our oxygen problems altogether. So we got laterite right there. Hydrazine. Yeah, it might just be hydrazine down there too. I'm going to scout a bit and see where it's worth it to run lines. I'm thinking we go through here. And the deeper down in we get, we're going to get different soil colors. And I'm wondering if maybe with the way the game's programmed, a little bit of metagaming here, but with the way the game is programmed, perhaps you only get certain minerals. Another research object right there. Perhaps you only get certain minerals and objects in certain biomes and certain earth types. Maybe. Considering the game is kind of focused on like sciencey things, maybe that's the way that it goes down. You know, I was absolutely wrong. I am going to need all those tethers. Should have brought them with me, but I couldn't fathom how I was going to use that many tethers. Lots of research objects down here, and that's the truth. But nothing that looks like it's going to be inherently useful to us right now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to burrow around a little bit down here. And if I end up finding what I'm looking for, I will come back, and that'll be the intro to our next episode, because I really do want to make like a few more tanks that just like attach to my person. So is this a research object? Oh, you can pull that out of the bottom of it. Gotcha. That weird grape structure. Lots of hydrazine, though. I mean, if you're down for hydrazine, this would be the cave to get it in. Cave exploration. Man, that's sketchy as all hell, though. Like the way that branches off like that. That makes me nervous. Here, refill my oxygen. My name is Splattercat. This game is called Astroneer. It's going to be out like tomorrow. So if you wanted to get it for yourself, I got the link for you down below. Thank you for stopping on by. I will see you all in the next episode. Hope you had fun. If not, well, I'll try harder next time, or maybe I won't. Bye, everybody.